Hey there, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Bottom Line. I'm your host, Emil, and today I'm here with the CEO of Africa Vision Holdings, Sashwin Pillai. And he is a multi-practice system specialist with a strong background in social sciences and urban dynamics. He is actively involved in discussions and initiatives aimed at creating sustainable, equitable, and resilient cities. Sashwin, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. Thank you for having me, Emil.
Thank you for coming on. I've been looking forward to this for a while because I've been seeing what you guys are doing. It's a lot of community-based projects, which I love.
Emil, I'm Sashwin Pillai, born and schooled in Durban. I thereafter furthered my studies and graduated in the UK with an honours in architecture from Oxford School of Architecture at Oxford Brookes University, the Multiplicities program from the Architectural Association, and the inaugural EMC at LSE Cities from the London School of Economics and Political Science. Leading to that Master of Science in Cities. I'm also a Balvikas graduate trained in Education, Human Values and an Impact Management Project or IMP professional, focusing on contributing positively towards achieving true sustainability, which involves helping change human choices, patterns, trends, interrelated connections and systems, all to better serve humanity. Currently, I'm the founder and CEO of Africa Vision Holdings, a 21-year-old business holding contracts across built environment professional services, focusing on master planning, architecture, project and program management, and development management, statutory compliance, including health, safety, and fire services. We are currently transitioning into an integrated strategic advisory, sustainability investment, and impact management platform, combined with our core and supplementary impact and sustainability management services, including our Center of Excellence, focusing on investment projects that advance positive social, environmental, economic change, and measured progress towards achieving this end. Some of our projects beyond real estate or urban development include agriculture, agricultural food, biological or agri-processing ventures, which is combined with expert third-party involvement, including my and my family's prior interest in the food and baking industry, amongst the other sectors or industries we've been experienced or involved with, including the travel and tourism sector. Through our small and expansive efforts, we aim to contribute positively towards achieving a more sustainable, inclusive, and prosperous economy, society, and environment, working collaboratively with like-minded stakeholders or individuals. Okay. At the same time, we need to overcome challenges or obstacles whilst we survive, thrive, and share. Wherever possible, we contribute collaboratively towards achieving better governance whilst empowering others along our journey. The significance of Africa Vision Holdings is that it is a level 1 BBBE contributor, earning clients a claimable 135% procurement spend on every rand spent with or through us. Our programs employ majority black youth or deprived citizens, whilst the company has trained and placed hundreds of contract workers on a variety of complex projects and programs on a self-funded basis without tapping into any state grant mechanisms in the past, understanding government's treasury restraints and deficits, and importantly, proving that businesses can do more being self-reliant as extraordinary value-adding contributors. We have recently formed a significant partnership working with Task Community FED College and their clients, including the various CETAs, and committed corporates in the delivery of capital grants to achieve sustainable outcomes, which is supported by our multi-dimensional offerings and multi-practice expertise integrated with our programs.
That is quite a beefy introduction, which I love because it gives you a whole view of what Africa Vision Holdings actually is and what they actually do.
Yes.
So thank you for that. Now, moving on, what are the biggest challenges facing cities in the global south according to Africa Vision Holdings?
The biggest challenges facing cities are disconnected form, function, and purpose. There remains a disparity in terms of institutionalization and institutional purpose, governance and governance purpose. Multiple barriers face the disadvantaged versus abundant opportunities are available to the fortunate. How we close this gap is key. Why should the lower-income household members or majority workforce need to travel long distances for basic services and employment, whilst majority of the wealthy or employers are situated in close proximity to employment? This remains a design challenge that has been poorly addressed by existing city leaders and developers, including investors and financiers who appear committed to quick wins rather than purpose-oriented action. Investing in youth is fundamental. To me, investing in youth is investing in one's own legacy. Since I'm passionate about helping to build lasting legacies, I contribute to collaborate with government, financiers, investors, and other stakeholders to instill top-down purpose orientation for positive bottom-up change to occur. You cannot expect a deprived or historically disenfranchised youth, or adult mentor for that matter, to compete on equal terms with the advantaged, racially preferred, or economically empowered citizens. You cannot expect equity investments to be made from places of inequity. Investing in youth is equity investing and is the only fallback of today's precarious financial system. I would like to invite committed global investors to actively invest in sustainability and resiliency through youth.
So with all that in mind, how does Africa Vision's holding value as a service or VAS model help investors and stakeholders involved in urban development projects? I mean, the same way you said before, you want to help the youth get back.
AVH's VAS model, which is value as a service, helps investors and stakeholders close the gaps in achieving results-based outcomes. VAS connects the strategic, benchmarked, and back-checked measurement and management functions between impact, outcomes, sustainability, resiliency, and value. VAS presents an opportunity to investors and stakeholders to safeguard their interests in the urban realm whilst ensuring value creation and sustainable growth.
So, the one thing I want to know is, in short, what are the principles of new Urban Agent and Paris Agreement with Africa Vision's holding, and what is this committed to?
The combined or interconnected principles of the New Urban Agenda, Paris Agreement, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, including the various supporting or associated declarations and agreements, are a collaborative global governance framework guideline to achieve sustainable policy-led action. We have partnered with SOPAC from Silicon Valley, who have connected and integrated all the world's available social impact measurement and management tools to advance social outcomes. In simple terms, our short-term focus is to assist clients to align with the principle and objectives of the UN SDGs, which are covered under the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and related impact measurement metrics. It is important to note that in terms of priority, social change influences or supports economic change, whilst environmental change is a prerequisite for positive social and, in turn, economic outcomes. The principles of each agreement are assessed, applied, and correlated to each client's purpose and stakeholders' objective. The basic principles of the agreements are to achieve interconnected and holistic outcomes through connecting the gaps between environmental, social, economic, and governance outcomes.
Moving on, you are quite an expert in your field, as I've said in your bio and the description you gave me of yourself and Africa Vision Holdings. So with that in mind, what types of urban planning and sustainable challenges does Africa Vision Holdings help solve?
Thanks. AVH solves a variety of business as usual and complex, bespoke or interrelated challenges, and are not limited to any type or kind of challenge. Since we qualified in strategic global leadership, planning, development, and management, covering the multidimensional aspects related to analysis, strategy, and delivery functions. Naturally, design is key.
So speaking about design and everything, a lot of people always want evidence-based stuff to see. So what evidence-based methods does Africa Vision's Holding use to develop solutions?
So as an MSc in Cities graduate and a member of the Global Urban Age Network, I bring the best available skills, expertise, and evidence bases, combining historic, current, and future-casted references, lessons, and proven methods from around the world.
So earlier I mentioned value as a service, or VAS, early in the interview. But how does VAS ensure a triple bottom line for urban development projects?
So VAS ensures a triple bottom line through connecting the relevant environmental, social, economic, and governance aspects per urban development opportunity for results-based outcomes. Now, this also applies in the rural context. We apply VAS at a government or institutional level towards outcome-led strategy and policy formulation through planning-led initiatives and effective delivery oversight over capital programs towards responsible action and positive change.
So speaking about change is always making change for the government. Everything is evolving around us. So on that topic, how does Africa Vision Holding consider future scenarios and growth trajectories when planning urban development projects? I mean, most of the time you could see a number, but then it goes another direction.
So let me start by saying change is the only constant. AVH considers future scenarios and growth trajectories by formulating and considering multiple plausible outcomes, options, drivers or levers, and references or evidences across the multiple dimensions.
And what are some examples of Africa Vision Holdings' work in climate change mitigation and adaptation?
So we're currently fortunate to be involved with New Carbon, a US-led seed-funded startup situated in Neisner, which has just completed its pilot project and testing phase and is now converting the pilot plant into a first-of-its-kind commercial carbon processing plant, aiming for zero emissions, local production and supply. Thereafter, we seek to replicate the project in other viable locations, working with strategic partners. We aim to replace carbon imports of similar quality and makes use of variety feedstocks, including invasive species, agricultural waste, etc. Now, there are multiple benefits to this strategy, including reducing the cost of the carbon product itself and improving the environmental parameters of the delivery of such carbon. Furthermore, we are currently working on the value-adding potential of a 160-hectare macadamia farm situated on the north coast of KwaZulu-Natal, whilst we are working with a leading exporter on an offtake basis wherever we are able to implement more hectarage under plantations and distribute value-added goods. We are facing a lack of available equity in the market to achieve our goals, and the issue remains that global investors are not very keen to take securitization over local assets. This is a challenge that we will need to solve collaboratively. Lastly, we are embarking on a new sustainable food project, which is in the making. Unfortunately, government, corporate, and institutional stakeholders have been laggards when it comes to realigning portfolios and programs in line with climate change objectives. I believe their challenge is in the how, and we require the bandwidth, audience, and platform to engage productively and share what we have. Hopefully this helps.
So with all of that, I could imagine the amount of managing all these outcomes are. So how does Africa Vision Holdings measure the success of its project in relation to the UN Sustainable Development Goals?
So this is dependent on the jurisdiction. We select the most appropriate and applicable measurement tools and measurement metrics to achieve short, medium, and long outcomes or compliance gateways. We assess, measure, and manage projects beyond the requirements or guidelines of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which framework is limited in its measurement capability. We consider the UN SDGs as the minimum measurement standard.
Okay. So there's one thing I do want to know. It's a bit of additional to this interview. What roles does Africa Vision Holdings partnership with Sustainable Impact play in sustainable efforts?
AVH's international partnership with Sustainable Impact seeks to better connect, coordinate, and support multidimensional stakeholders across the world. The partnership's objective is to support and grow each other whilst we help to grow others. Fundamentally, we integrate cultural aspects in our actions.
And like I mentioned earlier, everything is changing around. It's like tech, the way certain industries are moving and stuff. So how does Africa Vision Holdings stay up to date on the latest advancements in urban development and sustainability?
So fortunately, the Urban Age Network, the LSE Alumni Network, the Oxford Doric Club Network, and other networks, associates, or mentors keep us updated with relevant updates on the latest advancements across the world in real time. AVH's associates are situated globally, and we have regular catch-up sessions to discuss, compare, and collaborate on positive change efforts, or to simply share notes and opportunities. Technology has played a major role in supporting the variety of required functions, processes, and oversight, ensuring that our alumni and associate networks remain connected and up to date, providing access to real-time data, evidences, or lessons learned across the board.
And finally, the only thing I want to know, and I think could also be helpful for me to hear as well, and everyone else who's in the youth, do you have any words of advice for the youth of today? Because the youth of today is a bit, I wouldn't say lost, but they don't have any guidance.
So my message for the youth of today is to maintain a constant and deep desire to truly understand the following: why we choose and do what we do, how things work or function, and how they are created, built, or made. My message to the youth to take away is live, learn, work, play, and serve in love for all. Make sustainable choices, drive positive change, and build lasting legacies. In the spirit of Ubuntu, I am because of you. Thank you.
I will say I love the last quote, in the spirit of Ubuntu, I am because of you. It's such, I don't know, it gives you a certain feeling. Sashwin, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a great pleasure having you on the show.
It's only my pleasure. I look forward to collaborating moving forward.
Definitely. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this interview like you guys do for the other ones, please leave a like, put down a comment in leave a comment in the comments section. And if you guys want us to interview someone else, please let us know. We'll try our best to get them on as well. And like I always say, please share the video with your friends, family, and coworkers. Sashwin, I just want to say again, thank you so much.
Thanks again, Emil.